Now, one of the things that I'm seeing across this country is plant and factory closings. Now, I did a video about a month ago on factories closing in the Appalachian region and that eastern Ohio Valley region. I'm continuing to see plant and factory closings happen all throughout the U.S. Now, perhaps new factories are opening up across the country, but in my opinion, I can't believe that they're opening up at the rate that I'm seeing these places close down. And most of the time, these factories only employ 100 to 300 people. So they're not big enough where they're going to make the nightly news. Now, it might make the news in that area, but after about a week, it's forgotten. So this is basically a slow death that we're seeing happen to America. And at this point, it doesn't look like it's going to stop. We're 4 months into the year, and about every day, there are about 3 plant closings. And as I've said before, this country is going to be hollowed out. In the end, 10, 15 years from now, there won't be anything but a skeleton left. Now, will there still be jobs? Sure. There'll be service jobs, hospitality jobs, bartenders, waitresses, nurses, bus drivers. We'll still have things like that, but we won't be manufacturing anything. Now, Minnesota federal governor Neil Kashkari came out yesterday and said that the Fed may not be cutting rates until 2025. And I agree. I, in fact, think rates may not be cut until 2026 because we're seeing inflation come back. And what's that going to mean? Well, a lot of these small businesses, a lot of these factories and plants, if they have any debt, they're not going to be able to refinance that debt with interest rates staying elevated. And that's going to put even more pressure on these guys. And ultimately, a lot of these factories and plants that are closing, they're heading south. They're going to Mexico. They're going where the labor is cheaper, where the taxes are cheaper. And in many cases, that's the only way these companies are going to survive. And what's left with a lot of these small towns, a lot of these rural areas, once these factories close up, well, once the jobs disappear, you may have to go 30 or 40 miles for that next job. And with gas prices where they are, that's going to cost. And in most cases, you're going to be spending more money to get a job that pays less than what you had. And right now, no state is immune. I'm seeing it all across the country. Now, with some of these commodity prices rising, you have to wonder if that's putting even more pressure on some of these small factories and plant closings. We've seen copper soar 50 cents in the last 6 weeks. And what's that do to a small company or even medium or large company that may have copper in one of their components? So it's going to be hard for many of these companies to slug it out. Now, mortgage rates have risen above 7% again, and I don't think that's going to stop. I think they're going to stay over 7%, and in fact, head towards 8% later this year. As we're seeing more of these regional Fed governors come out and say that they don't see any rate cuts this year. Now, Minnesota Federal Reserve Governor Neil Kashkari said he doesn't expect rate cuts until next year. And we heard similar rhetoric from Chicago Fed Gov Austin Goolsbee that the Fed shouldn't cut rates at all this year. And inflation is going to do 2 things. It's either going to slowly creep up or it's going to roar back. And this country is going to be in a big conundrum. We're going to have elevated interest rates and we're going to have out of control inflation. And it's going to be only one solution, and that's going to be to hike rates. Now, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.